afternoon, crafters, and welcome to another episode of Plan C Season 3. I'm your host, Wendy Steward, and I'm absolutely delighted to be joining you for yet another season of Plan C Season 3. So if you are new to us, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. Please don't forget to say hello in the comments, whether you're watching live or a replay on Facebook or on YouTube, just like Alana and Mary, Kylie, Jan, Diana, Tracy, Christine and Michelle. Welcome. So glad to have you all with us on this. It's quite a chilly day in Melbourne, but we're here to hopefully bring you a bit of inspiration and some fun and inspire you to get crafty. Now, for all things about Plan C Season 3 and beyond, please make sure you are on the mailing list. So please go to the website from picture2pageandbeyond.com.au, where you can get all the information of what's coming up in the shows, what's happening with online and in person. So make sure you're on the list so you find out first before everybody else what's about to happen. So as I said, please feel free to post any questions you have in the comment section that, like everybody else, is saying hello, and we will do our best to answer them during the live broadcast. Otherwise, our guest will go back and answer them after the show. So welcome again, Lisa and Jenny and Rhonda. So lovely to have you here. Now, on with the show. I am so excited to welcome the lovely Jen. Let me bring her on screen. Hi, Jen from Peninsula Paper Craft Boutique.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jen. How are you today?
I'm good.
That's good. Is it chilly where you are today?
It probably is outside. I'm in the warm shop right now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
fine.
Awesome. Yeah. So, Jen, there might be people watching who've never heard of your beautiful store before today. Could you tell us a little bit about it, please?
Sure. Well, our name is Peninsula Paper Craft Boutique. We have a bricks and mortar store in Somerville on the Mornington Peninsula. We're very close to the Somerville Library and Aldi, so there's lots of car parking around.
Awesome.
To us, which is always important, and great to drop off the hubby while you come and shop.
I love that.
My business partner Joe and I started this 3 years ago. So it's a bit exciting that we're still brand new in the crafting world, but we're getting our groove now, even through all these lockdowns and crazy mess.
Oh my God, I know. It's just like, here we go again. But lucky that we're here and we have you with us today to put some happy in everybody's day and hopefully get them crafting either along with you or after they've been all inspired by what you're about to show us today.
Exactly. So we have lots of different things in store. We're a bit of a multi-faceted craft. We don't sort of section ourselves off to one area. We do scrapbooking, card making, art journaling, mixed media, alternate things. There's just so many classes that we have in store, and we do them online. So even through lockdown, you can join us via Zoom. To do our classes with us.
Wonderful. Well, we'll get you to give us more details towards the end of the show. But for now, would you like to share what you're going to be showing us today, please?
I can do that. Sorry, my phone was caught.
That's all right. It's okay.
I can't answer yet.
A little bit later.
Exactly. So today we're going to play and do a bit of blending with the Distress Oxide.
Yes.
Just a couple of tips and tricks that I've learnt along the way, and I'll show you a couple of card examples that we have done in classes the last couple of weeks. So you can actually purchase these classes on our website as well to be able to do at home.
That's awesome, because I know, Jen, some of us are much more familiar with the Distress ink pads, and we've bought Oxides, but maybe they're still sitting in our stashes, still wrapped up in their beautiful cellophane, and we're a little bit unsure of how to proceed further with them. Or, we've seen them at the show or seen a demo online, but we're not really sure. So I'm personally really excited to learn from you today and be inspired to use my Oxides more and more.
Yeah, I don't have many Distress inks in my collection.
Okay.
So when I started, the Oxides were more popular on the craft scene.
Right, okay.
So I've mainly used Distress Oxides, but actually starting to bring Distress inks back. Because what you'll find is the Distress ink is your dye ink. So your standard dye ink, the colour will soak into the cardstock, so will be a bit darker as opposed to a Distress Oxide, which is a fusion of dye and pigment ink. So it's actually suspended in the ink pad, so it's not going to leak out anywhere.
Yes.
And you end up with like a really smooth finish on top of your cardstock, as opposed to sitting like going inside. So you get a brighter look, but they work really well with your distress ink. So it's a companion product rather than or.
Yeah, awesome. So Jen, I might give you a moment just to swap your camera, and I'll come back to you, and we're ready to be inspired by you. So I hope you're all getting excited, and if anybody's playing along, please post in the comments that you are, and if you have any questions, don't forget, pop them in the comments, and Jen or I will do our best to answer them while we're going live. Otherwise, we'll answer them after the show. So I think Jen's going to give me a thumbs up as soon as she's ready. Yep. Okay, here we go. Over to you, Jen. It's all yours.
Okay, hi everyone. This is the view that I'm used to, because I'm not used to people seeing my face all the time.
We can see you clearly, Jen. It's really good. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so these are a couple of sample cards, what I was talking about of what we've done in the last couple of weeks in the store using the blending techniques with the Distress Oxides. So this card was blended with the blending brushes, which you could alternate with the blending tools with the foam pads if you've got in store or stock, not store like me.
I got you.
Some craft rooms feel like a shop though, don't they?
Yes, they do. We won't talk about that, will we?
This card here is actually blended using a brayer, which is a new technique to me, but I'm really enjoying. But it gives you that ombre effect.
Yes.
And that's with the tone on tone. Okay, so some options with your cardstock.
Yes.
I would recommend using a smooth cardstock when you're doing your blending. You want a good quality cardstock. So this one here is from Lavinia Stamps, and it's their multifarious smooth cardstock. And we have them in store in various sizes, but it takes lots of water and it takes lots of ink, and it's not going to feather up like some cardstocks do.
Right.
The other one we have in store is our House of Paper Smooth.
Yes.
And use like a 250 to 300 GSM. You're going to get a really beautiful finish. And you can see that it's blended smoothly and there's no marks in between. Like it's just a seamless.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Look from one colour to the next. So I'm going to show you how to create that.
Fantastic, Jen.
Okay. So to start with, you need to work out what colours you want to use. So for this one, I've actually ended up using 4. Using mustard seed, worn lipstick, bright persimmon, and crackling campfire. You can play around with the ink colours that you want to do, and if you're unsure of what goes with what,
yes,
go and find Tim Holtz's videos. Okay. But another one to have a look at is Kay Werner Design. She has on her website lists of colours that go together with the distress.
Right. Okay.
So really good to go for. So one of the tips when you are blending with a brush or a blending tool is that you want to ink up and ink up well. What I find that a lot of customers, when they're blending and they're unsure of what's happening, they're being very, very conservative with their colour. So when you're blending, you need lots and lots of colour on your cardstock.
That's a really great tip, Jen, because I think many of us are hesitant to do that.
We are, and it's scary when we tend it with, we're going to use too much. But with blending, the more is better. And you always want to come in and start from the sides and work your way in to the middle.
Yes.
Rather than starting in the middle, because that's when you can get those marks on your cardstock.
Yeah, like blobs on the middle of the cardstock, which that's not the effect you're going for. So
you can't blend out.
Very true.
Okay, so once with this one with the blending brushes, I like to work with 2, and I'll explain as I go along.
Okay.
Why, but you can just use the one and then wash it out with some paper towel and some water. If you go to the next colour, so we'll go to Worn Lipstick. So we're creating more of like that sunset look. What I want to do is start just above this line. I don't want to start right on it because I want the bulk of the colour just above that yellow. So when I get that across, once I've got the nice solid colour on, that's when I want to come back down into the yellow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that's going to help give you that nice seamless blend without going over the top. And if you find it's like, oh, I actually want a bit more yellow, this is why we haven't washed that first brush out first. Because we can come back in here with the yellow to help get that seamless blend happening. Yeah. And you can just keep going up and down until you're happy with that blend. Now what I recommend is that you don't sort of stick with that straight line across. You want to come a bit further down on the edges because that brings a more natural effect.
Yes.
Rather than like really, unless that's the look you're going for.
Yes, yes, yes.
Want a seamless blend?
Yeah.
Make it wavy. Okay?
Beautiful.
So we're going to leave that pink one and we're going to wash out our brush.
And are you just using, to wash the brush, what would you suggest would be the best thing to do, Jen?
So just a bit of water on some paper towel.
Right.
Or you could use a baby wipe. You're just going to run that off.
Okay, yeah.
Spritzed it with water, run that colour off.
Because I absolutely love those brushes, and so does Jackie, who's watching, and says she loves those brushes too.
They're my favourite thing. I prefer them over the blending tools.
Right.
Because it gives you that option to work up to the colour.
Yes.
With the foam pads, you tend to go, too much.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, right, Persimmon. So we're going to turn this around, and this is another tip when you're working on this. If I put my fingers on here, I'm going to leave finger marks. So I'm going to end up with inky fingers.
Right,
and then not. So just grab a bit of cardstock or something, scrap piece of anything, just to hold over the top.
Yeah.
So then you're not going to leave finger marks. Okay, and then come in with the right persimmon. So again, starting just above the pink and then coming down into it.
That's looking amazing.
And because we didn't wash out the pink yet, just with what's left on the brush, you can come back up into the orange. To get that seamless blend there. Okay, so we might needs a bit more ink on that.
There's a lot of love for those brushes out there, and everybody's loving your tips, Jen, especially the one about putting a piece of card over to prevent finger marks. I know, Michelle, isn't it fantastic? We're getting such great tips from Jen today.
Thank you. Okay, so there you've got your beautiful sunset. Now to finish off like I did with this one,
yes,
I've got a scrap bit of cardstock and my scissors. Now, Lavinia Stamps actually sell hill and mountain masks.
Right.
But you can make your own just out of scrap cardstock.
Yep.
I'm going to pull that around. We'll get some of the green, the forest moss. This one is. Here's a smaller brush. And we're going to start on that mask because I don't want to fill that base with it. I just want to come just off it, just off the edge.
And Jen, do you have these brushes in your store, please?
Okay, so yes and no. I have currently available right now in the shop, I have the set of 10 where you get lots and lots of them.
Yes.
But I did sell out of the large and the medium ones that they are coming back into stock. They should be here next week. but just keep an eye out.
Because
then you can buy them individually or buy them as a set. So that's how I've created that hill.
Wow.
How fun is that? I love it.
Wonderful.
And then I've just added the stamp over the top. Now, when you're stamping over the top of Distress Oxides, you want to use an archival ink or a StazOn. Because they're water-based inks, if you use something like a Memento and then want to use the idea of pulling up some of the colour,
right,
you will, it'll pull up the Memento ink as well because it's a dye ink.
Okay, yes.
So you want to stick with a solvent ink like an archival or StazOn
to
stamp over the top. Now, just like the Distress inks, the Distress Oxides are really fun because they are water reactive. So this is not, you don't have to do this because I really like it just the way it is.
It's beautiful just the way it is, but you're just going to add extra pop to that.
You do, just have a bit of fun. So just dropping off on some water, letting it sit there, because the longer you let it sit, the more ink it's going to pull up.
Okay. So us non-patient crafters might have to learn to be just a smidge patient to do this.
Put the paper towel on the other side of your craft desk.
Yes.
So you have to go away from it for just a second.
And Jen, Michelle is asking, do you recommend getting the set of brushes as a start or to wait and get, a couple of different sizes to start with?
That's a good question.
I think it really depends on, how much blending you may think you might want to do. So
exactly. If you use a lot of stencils, then I would recommend getting the set because you've got all of the little brushes which enable you to into those smaller spaces without using multiple colours on the one stencil. But if you just want to create the backgrounds, it's probably best just to get the individual brushes. And like I said, you don't need to get a whole stack of them.
Sure.
Like blending tools, we tend to have one foam for each colour. But the joy of these brushes is that you can just clean them out and go from colour to colour to colour.
I mean, personally, I ended up getting the whole set to start with because I knew I had stencils and I knew they would work really well on stencils, and they really do. So we hope we answered your question there, Michelle Duke. I hope that helped and not confused you more. So
there you go. So it's a really fun, Distress Oxides are a great way of creating lots of fun backgrounds, and just keep playing. So I know one of the questions you were thinking about was if you haven't got any Distress Oxides, what colours would you start with? Okay, again, that comes down to personal preference.
Absolutely.
So what I would recommend is going on to watching Tim Holtz or even going to Christina Werner's website and have a look at some of the colours that she's matched together, because they're the things that you want to start with. If you want to start with sunsets, then a yellow, a pink and an orange or a light red.
Right, yes.
Go with that. Or if you want to do sort of more like ocean things or tone on tones, stick with the colours.
The colours, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that is our blending brushes and creating that one there. And our second one is with our brayers. Now this is the cutest little brayer that we've just got in the store. It's from the Tim Holtz Distress range. But it's so cute. I love it so much. Okay, this is a really fun technique. Using your brayer, we're going to ink it up. You just want to ink the side, so you're not inking up the entire brayer.
Okay, yes.
Ink the side, and you're going to ink it up quite a ways. So you just keep going until you've got a nice solid colour. And it's always good to try to work on one of the edges of your pads rather than in the middle, because you want to try not to get too much ink right on that edge.
Okay, yeah.
And then we're going to start on the edge of the cardstock, and we're going to work our way in.
Oh,
and we're
gorgeous.
going to work quickly as we push across, but we're not going to push too hard, because you'll see if I push really hard, I'm going to end up with these lines.
With the line, yeah, absolutely.
So it's just rolling it along and roll and flick it up. And then you can ink it up again. And you can come back the other way. So starting on the edge and then just flicking it, working quite fast, and then moving across the page.
That's giving that cardstock such a beautiful effect.
I love it. Okay, so we start with our light, go to our medium. So that was Mermaid Lagoon. This is Salty Ocean. Again, starting on the edge and working our way into the card.
That is looking so good, Jen. I've never used a brayer with my Distress Oxides, and I can't wait to try it.
I hadn't until recently either. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
I saw it. I'm like, oh, I love it so much. Okay, and then this is the new colour, Prize Ribbon. I'm going to finish off with that one. So
just when you think you don't need another blue, up comes the Prize Ribbon.
You always need new colours.
I know, right?
Brings them out for us. He knows what we need before we do.
I know. I'm secretly hoping for more in the purple family because, you know, I'm obsessed with purple, so, you know.
I have a few customers that are hanging out for a new purple.
I really thought we might get one this time, but anyway, fingers crossed for next time.
I think Tim just likes to do his own thing and doesn't
Absolutely.
listen to anybody what they want.
That is just giving such a magnificent effect on that piece of cardstock.
There we go. So it is like a technique that you have to work with to try not to get those lines into practice. But just looking the difference from a blended cardstock.
Incredible.
It's so different, but it looks amazing. And then being able to create something like this.
Stunning.
So pretty. So there you go. That's my couple of simple tips and tricks to do with your Distress Oxide.
Beautiful.
So hopefully we'll help
Jen,
you
would you please be able to hold those cards to the screen again so everyone could have another look? Thank you. Yeah, and a little bit to your right, please.
Okay.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you. Beautiful. I hope everyone can see the lovely blending. And more to the right, please, Jen. Thank you. Yep, great. And if you could hold it down a little bit now. Thank you. Yep, wonderful. Thank you. And would we be able to see your finished cards again as well, please?
Yep.
Oh, gorgeous. And will you please tell us where those lovely stamps are from?
I can. These ones are from Fairy Hugs. So these are the hanging vines.
Gorgeous.
This is April, who I have unfortunately sold out of, but I will get more of her in.
Right.
And have a very delightful day.
I love it. Isn't it beautiful?
It's so cute.
I know there's a few massive fairy fans watching at the moment, and they're going to be loving this. So, and is that from the same stamp range, Jen, or is that a different stamp range?
No, this is from Fairy Hugs as well. So this is Anya's Tree, and this is May Every Sunrise Hold More Promise, and Every Sunset Hold More Peace.
Oh, that is such a beautiful sentiment. Wow, I love it.
They are both in stock right now. So there is something that I do like to share with everybody.
Oh, beautiful.
Fairy Hugs is 20% off until midnight Sunday.
Yay.
You don't have to do anything, no code or anything. It's already to go on the website.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Wonderful. So I will give you a moment and bring you back on camera with me if you're ready to swap your camera over. Thank you.
Yep.
Wasn't that incredible? I know I've had a whole bunch of Distress Oxide pads in my stash, and I've used them a little bit, but I'm so inspired to go home and try all these amazing techniques Jen has shared with us, and she's going to come back on screen and have a chat to us now. Welcome back, Jen.
Hi.
That was incredible. Thank you so much. There's a lot of love for you in the comments, and somebody has actually cast it to their TV from their iPad, so we must be going in living color in someone's screen. Which is so exciting. Jen, so before we let you go and say goodbye to you, tell us more about tell us where your store is, how people can find you. I know you're not open to the public just at the moment, but when you are.
When we are, come and see us. We've had an amazing week of seeing all these beautiful new customers. It was so sad when we had to close our doors again today. But you can find us online. We're at peninsulapapercraft.com.au, and all our shop address details and opening hours outside of COVID and lockdowns are on there, and you can shop online. One question I have had a lot is that people don't have PayPal. If you don't just remember that PayPal is our payment gateway, so you don't have to have an account to place the order. But just in case there's any confusion, just click pay with card and then you can run it through.
And do you have direct deposit as well if people wanted to do that? Or
absolutely. You can direct deposit, you can email an order, you can phone an order. I'll actually change my phone over to my mobile.
Okay.
So if you call the shop, it'll come direct to me while we're in lockdown, because I will be home a lot more with my children.
I think you might be. Well, I think all of us could get out our brayers and our oxide pads and go for it. And also, Jen, what's the best way to store the oxides, please? Because you know how sometimes we store our ink pads upside down just to get all the juice to come down. What would you suggest with these ones?
Again, this is personal choice. So you can store them just flat as they are, or you can store them on their side like this, and that's how Tim holds in his tins. Hold them is straight up and down. The reason is because the ink is suspended in this pad. Being a dye and ink fusion, it's not going to leak out.
Fantastic. That's really good to know.
Pretty rare.
Yes.
But it won't. Whereas a lot of other dye inks, you want to have it up this way to keep the ink in, or have it this way so it doesn't leak out. So any emboss it inks, things like that, you want to make sure that they are flat, because that will leak out.
Yes, I've had that happen. So And Jen, do you sell the actual tins that Distressing's brought out to store these in?
We do. We don't have any. I'm just having a look over in our spot there. They are so popular. So if you do want them, just send us an email. You can pre-order anything you absolutely want. We will source whatever we can.
Lovely.
But we've got so much new stock in store. So have a check out.
Fantastic. Yeah. And, if anyone wants a brayer or some storage tins or whatever, they just need to email you and you can get them in. And I'm sure Jen, but on the Ranger website, they actually have printouts of the little labels you can get. So if you're storing them vertically, you can cut up the labels and put them on your pads, whether they're the distressing. So any range of products has little, color labels on there, so you don't have to pull everyone out. Yeah, like that. Sorry. Exactly.
I'm I haven't done that on all of them. I was trying to find one that I have. Sure. That. So it's great.
Yeah.
The Ranger website are fantastic, and Tim has actually released a new website as well, so you can record all of the products that you own, so you don't end up doubling up.
Would we do that? No.
I had a customer try and buy 2 of the same stamp yesterday, so that was funny.
Okay, maybe it was a present for someone? Who knows? And Jen, is there anything that we should avoid, with the Distress Oxides? Is there anything any don'ts kind of thing? So,
not necessarily. No. You can have lots of fun. They work really well with your gel plates, as you said, straight onto paper. You can stamp with Distress Oxides. They aren't going to be as crisp and clear as a straight dye ink or an archival ink. You can emboss with them. They look fantastic, and they have the embossing glazes that go along with them. I think
you can use them on anything. I've used them on a scrapbook page. I've used them on an art journal, a spread, or, you know, an off-the-page mixed media item that I think they're so versatile. You can use them in so many different ways. I think we just have to be inspired by you today, not be scared, get them out and just go for it. And, you know, if we mess up the first few pieces of cardstock, that's okay. They can all be cut up and used for something somewhere. So
use them, put them in your stash to die cut things out of. So
absolutely.
You can always just have fun with them, just muck around and have a play. Get the packet, get the plastic off them. No,
absolutely.
You can use them like direct paper. You can just straight on. You can use them to distress the edges. Just be careful that they are water reactive.
Yes.
So even after, like, this has been a few weeks since I made this, if I got water on it, because it doesn't have a coating over the top,
sure,
it will get affected.
Yeah.
Okay, so just be aware of that part.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, most people who we're giving a card to hopefully won't get it anywhere near water, but, you know.
Exactly.
I don't think they wouldn't, you know, we're not going to, hopefully our scrapbook pages go into page protectors and art journals close, so, you know. Michelle's asking, Michelle, I was just going to ask the same question. Can you actually seal them with anything, Jen? I've never tried, so.
I haven't tried, but yes, you can. Officeworks actually have like a spray varnish. I can't remember the brand name of it. We tried to get it in, but it's actually cheaper just to buy it at Officeworks.
Oh, fair enough. Yep.
But yeah, you can seal them with the spray varnish. Like we said, it's pretty rare that you would need to do that. But if you're going to use it on something that's going to be outside, then
yeah, true. Maybe if you're going to use it on like a canvas or a beyond the page item, you may want to then do it if it's going to be on display or, you know, as a present for someone. So that might be an idea. So, you know, which is all good. So
as far as I'm aware, the spray varnishes are better because if you use a brush and like a wet varnish, like it could drag the colour.
Right.
The spray is better, but I haven't tried it myself, so I can't.
No, fair enough. And Jackie very kindly on the comments is saying there's a matte sealer at Bunnings as well that you can get. So yeah, I don't know. I think Bunnings is classed as an essential service that's open, but I don't think we're not allowed in there at the moment. So we might just have to wait till we're allowed in. So
not side, yeah. You can do click and collects, and same thing with us.
Yes.
You can still click and collect.
Okay. Yep. Store. And your current hours are all on your website, Jen, so people can check.
They are, but during lockdown, because it'll be up in the air, if you want to place an order and come and collect it, just send me an email or a message through Facebook, and any time is fine. Yep. I live down the street. So.
Awesome. And could we just hold up the specials, this little blurb of the special you had again for everybody?
Yeah.
So there you go, everyone. Fairy Hugs, 20% off until midnight this Sunday. And that's Melbourne time.
That is Melbourne time.
Just making sure it's Melbourne time. Yeah, we don't know who's watching from where, Jen, so, you know, we just need to make sure.
From an American provider, so we have fun with working out the time.
Oh gosh, that's fun, isn't it?
It's Melbourne timing, I promise.
Yeah, great. Well, Jen, it's been absolutely lovely having you today as a guest for this episode. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for showing us all those amazing tips and tricks. I can't wait to go home and try. So look after yourself through this time. Hope you get lots of time to maybe do some crafty stuff. So, you know, who knows? Let's make the most of this and let's craft our way out of this situation.
Absolutely. Jump onto our website and have a look at those classes.
Yeah. And if there's any questions, just please feel free to email Jen and she will get back to you, or message through Facebook as well, and Jen will get back to you and help you to, you know, further along on your crafting journey. All right, Jen, I'll say bye for now and I'll catch you soon. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Wasn't that incredible? So many great tips, so many great ideas, so many things to try. So I urge you, you know, get your stuff out, have a play, get on Jen's website, have a look, go and see, you know, what she recommended to us on the Tim Holtz website, get some ideas, and don't be scared, just have fun and play. So I'm Wendy Steward signing off. It has been an absolute delight to bring you this episode. So this was episode 1 of season 3. We've got another 5 to come. So we will see you again next Friday, 2 p.m, live and free here in Melbourne. Until then, please look after yourselves, be kind to yourselves, and I hope you get some crafty time. This is me saying bye for now.